The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the third day of October 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman. I'm here doing it again by myself, folks. I'm all by myself today. I'm even doing the news by myself today. They allowed me, see, I think they're running a test. They're running a test to see if I can behave myself and, if I can do things. I'm a grown man. I'm an adult. I can handle myself. I'm okay. And by the end of this show, you all will agree with me. But happy Thursday to you all. I want to give a big welcome, Ray Kai Bascom Emery, who became one of our latest YouTube members. Really appreciate Ray Kai's support. And you too can become a YouTube member. You can subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications from us. But also, if you want to donate, memberships, I believe, start at $2.99. But yeah, we appreciate the financial support from everyone. So thank you, Ray Kai, and hopefully it inspires others to want to become members as well. Here's another member, David Michael Wilson. We appreciate his financial support as well. He says, it's a thankful Thursday, TDH family and crew. Go out and live on purpose and be grateful. Love that, man. I love that. You know what? We might have to keep that as the daily inspiration today. That's what we're going to do. Thank you for that, David Michael Wilson says. People tune in. That will be the daily inspiration today. But yeah, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Dr. Jana Otterbridge on to discuss an initiative around mental health. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's jump right into today's discussion because we are going to have a conversation. Jumping right into it. Who do you believe is the best candidate to represent constituency 36? Now, on this show, we heard from Lieutenant Cyree Bean, the Honorable Mark Bean, and Carl Neblett. So we heard from all three of those men, and there is another candidate who we appreciate, Dr. Emily Gail Dill, who her party basically didn't arrange for her to come on this show to engage an audience that she's a part of. So what are your thoughts, based on who you got to engage with, based on what you believe Bermuda's needs are at this time, based on who you think can make a difference in representing not just their constituency, but Bermuda as a whole? Who do you think is the best candidate of those individuals running in constituency 36? Who do you think is the best? And also, I think this is an interesting one. So yesterday I spoke, and I want to reiterate it, because I've heard the PLP say it, and I know the FDM has said that elections are won on the doorstep and how important canvassing is. And, someone wrote to me 2 days ago and they said, the PLP are really banking on the older people, like seniors, right? They're really going heavy on seniors. And I meant what I said yesterday when I'm like, at what point is it harassment? And there are other protection measures because at some point it becomes a manipulation of a senior to keep going on their doorstep if they tell you they're not voting for you or they're not sure. Like, it's not great sales. It's used car sales tactics, and it's harassment. And I want to tell anyone regardless of what party it is or candidate. Protect your seniors, protect your elders from political manipulation. Protect them. Because if they're banking on that the majority of the people in this constituency are over 65 and that they'll vote for them and they're really harping on them and this and that, protect your seniors. Do not allow seniors to be politically manipulated by people who are only looking out for themselves. Let me repeat, and this is not a knock on Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Dill. I have no ill will toward her, and I'm not going to start today. But I want to read something. It is public. It's public. So I'm going to read it because it was public. If I can just go over to the book. Give me a second. Give me a second. I had someone wrote about Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Dill. They wrote, she's a fantastic advocate for young men at risk. She would be a great MP. I just cannot vote for her because that's a vote for her party, who I do not support anymore, and I have told her so. Folks, there are many seniors who feel that way. Do not allow a desperate people to manipulate your loved ones. Do not allow people who don't govern well but love to win elections. Don't allow them to manipulate the people you love. This and every election should come down to who individuals believe is best to serve their needs, the community's needs, and their family's needs. This is not about politicians needing you, because we've seen it. And I know you have these lazy politicians who will, show up on Saturdays and say they're having these little events to talk to, constituents. I'm sorry. That's the politics of old. We don't care for that stuff as much. What we care about is, what are you actually delivering? So again, the question of the morning, audience. Who do you believe is the best candidate to represent constituency 36 based on what you've been able to hear and see, especially on this show over the last 3 days? Furthermore, what do you believe will determine how people vote in the by-election? Is it going to be canvassing and what people say on their doorstep? Like, what helps determine how you decide to vote? What determines what drives your decision? Let's go to the audience. Nicole Hassel, who I believe is in that constituency, says, Mark Bean for me and my family. Okay, understood. And I'll share publicly what I said to some folks yesterday in private. I'll share what I said privately because, we're not family, but we're a community of people. I say we're not family because you all wouldn't invite me to your house for anything. No, you wouldn't. David Michael Wilson says, I'm between Neblet and Bean Mark. Syrie has a lot of potential, but maybe a little green when it comes to understanding the ebb and flow of things, in my opinion. I think that's fair, David Michael Wilson. I think that's fair. I think that's quite fair. I feel like, again, this is my personal feeling, not a feeling of the Daily Hour or my colleagues or sponsors or partners. But I do feel as if the Bermuda Progressive Labour Party as a government is trying to win a PR war. They're trying to, you saw how desperate they were in constituency 10. They seem even more desperate here. I think they've let both Senator Lindsey Simmons and they're now letting Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Dill down. I don't think these are bad people. I think these are decent people who, I even said when she was announced, I think the PLP got themselves a good candidate. I said that. But I think ego is ruining the potential for these people. I want to know, folks. Let us know. Let me go on Instagram because I can't keep. All right. So Mia Shambray on Instagram says, Carl or Mark, the PLP are using snake oil salesman tactics. She goes on to say, during the plight of the West End Warriors, most of Somerset stated they would never vote PLP ever again. Many were seniors leading that charge. Let's not forget, folks. Look, I'm no magician. It's the person Nostradamus. I'm not none of that. But I've made quite a few predictions on this show that have come to fruition. I told you all when David Burt, the Premier of Bermuda, was being challenged by the Honorable Curtis Dickinson, I told you that you should expect an announcement that the hotel deal was complete. Well, you got an announcement about the hotel, didn't you? I told you all that the PLP would cave with the West End Warriors, right? I gave you a timeline. So said, so done. I think Bermudians are too smart to continue to be politically manipulated by a group of people who have shown that it's politics first, self second, and people after that. That's how they govern. Politics first, then themselves, and then you. Interestingly, that a former OBA minister decided to communicate and engage with me and ask me, well, if the PLP goes, who replaces them? That kind of language and rhetoric and chat really is interesting to me because, Larry Marshall Sr. used to always say when people say, well, if you get in conscription, then what? And he said freedom. And I would think that this OBA former minister, being around a bunch of entrepreneurs, would understand one thing. In entrepreneurship, it's about taking risk. You know what you have, and you don't know what's behind the other door. But what you do know is you can't stay where you are. I remember someone saying to me in 2012, that's 12 years ago. It was October 2012. Someone said to me, well, Jamel, Bermuda tourism's as bad as it's going to get. It can't get any worse than this. 12 years later. And my point in saying that is we cannot have the mindset that, well, it can't get any worse than this. Folks, Bermuda is much worse off than it was when I was born. In another 42, 43 years, Bermuda will be a shell of itself if we don't stop the rot. Something has to be done. Now, let me just say a few things. Do I believe there are people who care in politics? Yeah, absolutely. But I feel what the lady said earlier that was shared. She would love to vote for Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Deal. But a vote for her is a vote for the party and in turn, the Burt administration. Michael Weeks, my MP, well, before they took me off the registry, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. A person you would say I trust. But a vote for him is a vote for the Burt administration. This is not the late Freddie Wade's PLP. It's not. This is David Burt's PLP. It's different. And yes, times have changed, but it's different. But I believe the PLP have some good people. had Minister Tanae Furbert on this show numerous times. Minister Owen Darrell, a couple times. I've probably been the least critical person in the media of Diallo Rebane because, he's been consistent. I'm going to be honest, education, I haven't followed it as closely as others. But for those who understand it, let's have the conversation. There are very few PLP ministers and MP. Colonel Birch, I can't stand the man. But I respect that he seems honest. I believe he actually does work hard. But I don't agree with his ideology. But I don't sit up here criticizing Colonel Birch every day. As a government, yes, I'm highly critical. But go back on my social media. The late Sean Crockett didn't have it easy. Craig Kennener didn't have it easy. Michael Dunkley definitely didn't have it easy. Madam Paula Cox was on this show. She told you I didn't give it to her easy. Because I think they genuinely understood that I care. And I think that's all people want. I have to vote in an election next month. It's my second time voting in a US election, first time for the president. I'm not your average Black person. I'm not voting for someone because of a party or because of what they look like. I'm actually going to take time to read. Why? Because I've been involved in a political party at a very young age. And for me, parties put party first. And that goes for all political parties, not just the PLP. I believe their intent is party first. I remember when the One Bermuda Alliance was in and, certain people will say one thing to Mr. Marshall and myself and then go in the House and vote with the OBA. I haven't forgotten. It happens. And that's why I don't have a trustworthy relationship with politics and politicians. But I find it very interesting that everyone's cheering and tooting air horns when someone's speaking in their favor. But as soon as they go against them, they're anti something. It's going to be interesting up there. And I think, some people are saying this election is going to speak volumes. Will it? I don't think the result's going to speak volumes. I think the way that it's being conducted is speaking volumes. I think the fact that the venue seems to be an issue to people and the government arrogantly is ignoring that speaks volumes. The fact that they held a press conference yesterday about something in the OBA's platform speaks volumes. This is a group of people who have political power, who should be focusing on governing in the best interests of Bermuda. I remember when the writ was dropped in 2017, and Michael Fay was the minister then of something for the OBA, and start running on about the hotel, the good stuff the OBA did. And I said at the time, good governance doesn't require you to tell people what you've done for them. They'll feel it. They'll know it. If you have to focus on your opposition, and if you have to tell people what you're doing, you probably ain't done a great job. You probably have not done well by the people. Canvassing shouldn't require you telling people what you've done for them. It should be asking them, what more do they need done? They should already know what you've done for them. They should feel it. All right, let's go to the audience. You all got me talking this morning. Question of the morning, folks, is who do you believe is the best candidate to represent constituency 36 based on what you've heard from the candidates so far? And what do you believe will determine how people will vote in the by-election? Like, what do you think will determine it? Do you think it will impact Reverend Emily Gail Dill that she chose to go into a space that was, I guess PLP heavy and not really engage beyond like the other candidates? Do you think that's helpful? Ian Waddington says Mark Bean. He believes Mark Bean is the best candidate. He understands Bermuda politics and he understands the PLP, who will probably win the next election. Okay. Kia Renee BDA, she says, Mark Bean, his vision, I understand, and will be the best thing for Bermuda. I am confident majority of what he speaks about the world is and will move in that direction regardless. David Michael Wilson says PLP uses press conferences whenever they need to cover up something else. Again, I think we're brilliant people. I think Bermudians are smart. I think we're intelligent. I think that I think Bermudians know better. I have faith that Bermudians know better. I believe that there are a core group of people who are never going to change who they vote for. And I'm not just talking about PLP people. Let's be honest. There's some people that will never vote PLP regardless. You know, the PLP could have cured some things to make our community healthier and better, and we know they wouldn't. And we know some people who will never leave the PLP. Those are not the people we're talking to. We're talking to people who have a bit of a free spirit and free mind and are not paying members of a political entity. People who are willing, you know, actually want to listen and engage. Yeah. Interesting times. David Michael Wilson says, we know better, just gotta start doing better. Just gotta start doing better. Indeed. All right, folks. We've got a news break. We're going to continue the conversation. I know Dr. Jan is having a little challenges getting it back in this morning, so we'll continue the conversation. But let us know. Keep it coming. Who do you believe is the best candidate to represent constituency 36 in the by-election tomorrow? Based on what you've heard, based on how you've engaged, let us know who you think the best candidate is to represent constituency 36 and be in government. Let's do the Daily Hour news break, and after that, we'll continue the conversation. All righty, folks, it's your Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, have you heard about fishing? Not the kind where you have like bait and a line or rod and throw it over, but fishing where, well, you know what? I'll share this report that came from the police. The Bermuda Police Service is aware of members of the public receiving phone calls from someone purporting to be a member of the Bermuda Police Service or claiming to represent the organization, then attempting to obtain personal information from the call recipient. This is yet another phishing scam. Police have been informed that caller's ID displayed Bermuda Police Service with the Bermuda Police Service crest. Some calls were from phone number +92 320 9853 029 with Bermuda Police Service crest. Some calls were from an unknown number with BPS crest. Caller claims to be a police officer. Caller refuses to provide police badge number. Caller has a Caribbean accent. The police are advising the public that BPS officers will at no time contact you requesting personal information over the phone. You will instead be asked to attend a police station at a specific time and date to be spoken with. Should a BPS officer contact you, they will identify themselves by their rank, badge number, name, and department. The Bermuda Police urge that should you receive any such calls from persons claiming to be BPS officers, you challenge them by asking that they provide their name and badge number. Should they refuse to provide that information, immediately hang up and contact the BPS by calling 211 or 295-0011 to make a report. Should the caller provide a name or badge number, and continue to ask for personal details, inform them that you would prefer to attend the police station and speak with an officer there, then hang up and again contact the police by calling 211 or 295-0011 and report the matter. Folks, scams are really, really crazy right now, and I would encourage you to look out for a family who may be vulnerable when it comes to some of the phishing scams as well. But you heard the instructions from the Bermuda Police Service just now. Just give them a call. Police will never ask you for your personal information of the phone. Even if they identify themselves, please tell them you would rather speak in person at the police station closest to you. So again, be very vigilant. This is a serious matter, and again, if you have family members who may be vulnerable, who may, you think this is real, speak to them. Make sure that you're passing this information along to them. All right. And some more fun news. Well, it's almost that time. I know you all are saying, but it's not even Halloween yet, Jamal. But here we go. It's almost that time. The city announces its 2024 Christmas window decorating contest. 'Tis the season to be creative. Hamilton businesses are invited to put their best festive foot forward and help spread some holiday cheer this Christmas by entering the 2024 Christmas Window Decorating Contest. The contest offers a chance for local shops to bring a touch of holiday magic to Hamilton with awesome prizes awarded to winners. There are two categories: Best Christmas Window and the People's Choice. Businesses must be located within the city limits to be eligible for entry into the contest. The window decorating must be completed by Tuesday, December 3rd at 5 p.m. and must remain in place at least until Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. Winners will be announced on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. You all know that's my favorite time of year. I'm excited. I wonder, you know what? My pops probably heard that report and he's like, man, I wish I lived in the city of Hamilton, even though there's not a business in there, but he could have put his business there. But no, I love that. I love it. Regardless of whether you celebrate or not, gotta admit, that's one fun time of year, as far as lights and festivities. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the lights and the light. Folks, I don't have a weather report for you. So you know what I'm going to tell you? Dip your toe outside, peek outside, or put your head out there and just feel the vibe. You'll know what temperature it is. If you start sweating, it's probably humid. All right. Days of the year. Here we go. Here's your day of the year. It's October 3rd, day of the year. Let's see what we got. Oh, in the US, it's National Boyfriend Day today. It's National Boyfriend Day. So if you have a boyfriend, do something nice and special for him. Anybody out there got a boyfriend? Let us know the last time you did something special for your boyfriend. We'll wait. We've got time. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute, 58 seconds to continue the conversation. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to grow and improve our community. And I just want to stop this show real quickly and send nothing but love, condolences, and comfort to one of our esteemed members in the TDH community, Charles H. Jeffers II, who lost his mom last night. I know we're a community of people, and Charles is very active, but I know what it's like to lose a mother. And I send Charles love upon love upon love, and I encourage the audience to let him know that you're thinking of him, you're praying for him, and just holding him up during this time. So again, just want to send an abundance of love and comfort to Charles H. Jeffers II on the loss of his mom last evening. To continue this morning's conversation, we've been talking about the by-election. On Monday, we had Lieutenant Syrie Bean on the show. On Tuesday, we had the Honorable Mark Bean on the show. And yesterday, we had Carl Neblett on the show. And I'll be honest, I think all three of these gentlemen have really, really spoken well. They've engaged well. I think they are all really good candidates. I think that meeting the people where they are and taking advantage of media spaces has done them no harm. And, I guess there are people who feel like, well, the PLP have 30 seats. I mean, does it really matter who wins this seat? And I think that's a question for you all. That's a question for the audience. Just a yes or no. Do you believe this by-election matters? Yes or no? Do you believe this by-election matters? Because there are people who legit think, oh, it's the PLP's got this supermajority anyway. Like, it doesn't matter who wins. And that's interesting. That's interesting to me, that people feel like, oh, well, nothing's going to change. That's one person going in the house. And I'm like, really? I think it's bigger than just this by-election, personally. But do you think this by-election matters? Yes or no? Do you think it matters? Kia Renee BDA says yes. David Michael Wilson says C36 is a key seat. Marquita Lee says yes. Says yes. What else, audience? Do you think it matters? Yes or no? Do you think this by-election matters? Mia Chambray of on Instagram says yes. In the words of Carl from the OBA, David knocked down Goliath. Yeah, he did use that. Shamari Talbot Ward says it sets the tone for the general, like C10. Okay. I cannot understand why someone would think a by-election doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. I think Shamari Talbot Ward just said it. It does set the tone. It does set the tone. And while the OBA held on to C10, I think even the most, staunch PLP supporter would admit the results still shocked them. So yeah, I expect them to go hard up in 36 to maintain a seat. They don't want to lose a seat. But it goes back to what I said earlier. If you govern for the people, by the people, you won't have to harass them for a vote. I canvassed with 3 candidates in Bermuda during my time. And I'll speak to you about those experiences. Nelson Bascom, the late Nelson Bascom, was probably the easiest person to canvass because he was a man of the people. He was, like him or not, he was a man of the people. He knew his constituency. He lived in his constituency. People knew him. I canvassed with Glenn Blakeney. Glenn was special. Oh, he was special. I would try. Glenn is a people person, right? You may not think so, but he's a people person. And Glenn will talk to you. We would go canvassing and Glenn would spend 1 hour talking to somebody. I'm like, Glenn, we got to hit 10 other homes. But he loved to communicate with people. He loved to talk with people, right? And then there's Mike Weeks. Honestly, just a nice person. Like he comes across like he cares and he will listen to you. The reason I shared my canvassing experiences, and obviously they were all PLP candidates, none of them harassed or begged people for the vote. I remember with one in particular, someone said, oh, called one of them out about their behavior. Pick the bones out of that. And they said, oh, okay, no problem, I understand. And a respectful, departure. But it was never harassing people or begging people for the vote. It was really engaging people. What I've been told, it's very different today. There's a desperation. And I'm going to repeat, protect your seniors. Do not allow seniors to be manipulated, politically manipulated. The fact, someone said, oh, they had these 2 MPs up in the constituency that, really? Why is the entire organization out there? You already have 30 seats. What 20? Well, you have 29 if you don't win this, but why do you want this one so bad? Why? The only reason you become desperate like this is because you know you've done wrong by the people. That's it. You don't have to beg people for anything when you do right by them. Do you believe this by-election matters, folks? Do you believe it matters? Renee Simmons sending, she says, sincerest condolences, Charles and family. She was always a wonderful neighbor and a pleasant person. So sorry to hear this, and may God strengthen you and your family. And again, on behalf of everyone at the Daily Hour, we are sending Charles H. Jefferson II, who is a very valued member of the TDH community, lost his mom last evening. So again, sending him all the love in the world and comfort during this time. We are grateful to Charles and totally supportive in this time. But folks, let's get back to the conversation. Who do you believe is the best candidate to represent constituency 36 based on the candidates you heard from? But also, do you believe this by-election matters? Do you believe this by-election matters? Right? Unfortunately, there are people who believe that it's just a by-election. And as we know, history has shown us, results have shown us that by-elections traditionally don't have as many people turn out. The turnout's usually lower, right? Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Thursday, Jamal. I'm late today. You're not on punishment. We appreciate that you made it. Thank you, Suzanne. We appreciate you. Maurice Foley says, I witnessed at the C10 by-election voter station how seniors were being targeted. That's unfortunate. And again, folks, look, and let me be clear. This didn't come from an OBA person. This came from a PLP member. That the PLP is aggressively going after the seniors because the constituency apparently is majority seniors. This is what I was told. That is harassment and it's political manipulation. And you have to ask yourself, as a neutral, why do they have to use such tactics? Why? Misha Fabulous says, the MPs came out for my by-election in C8. Caucus is regularly out to support the candidate from the 3 I've been involved in. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Misha. But why the aggression? Why the aggression? Explain that. And also, just because they done it for you and it's something they do, that doesn't mean that it should be done. If you govern for the people, by the people, you don't need a canvas like that. The problem is, again, both the FDM and PLP believe that elections are won on the doorstep because it's political manipulation. You get to be in people, you get to pressure them and make them feel away. Here's my note to seniors or anyone going into that booth. They don't know who you vote for. You can go there wearing PLP green. That don't mean you have to put your tick next to them. And the same with the OBA and FDM and Lieutenant Cyree Bean. No one knows where you're putting your X, tick, or whatever it is they use in Bermuda. It's been a long time for me. They removed me from the registry. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying that. But no one knows. Suzanne Ingham says, using those tactics only proves the desperation. Yeah, it's desperation. Absolute desperation. It's absolute desperation. And Bermudians deserve better. Based on what I heard from the candidates, I think Bermuda, I've been very critical and, people have been unhappy with me. The OBA has, been unhappy with my comments. The PLP and others have been unhappy when I say that we don't have the quality candidates. I've said that on more than one occasion. I believe, even though she was not present on this show or at Trevor, I believe all four candidates have some form of quality. I do. I think this by-election has proved me wrong in terms of quality candidates. I think he's in the audience. Misha Fabla is a quality candidate. I think that Carl Neblett is a quality candidate. Mark Bean is a quality candidate. I think, people keep speaking about his age, but Lieutenant Cyree Bean is a quality candidate. I think they offer something that I believe could improve Bermuda. They do. And we need quality candidates. The same can't be said for others who are involved politically. So my hope, regardless of who's elected tomorrow, that candidate puts the people first. We need candidates who will be courageous enough to do what the Honorable Curtis Dickinson done. Oh, you're in the cabinet and you don't like something that's being done? Paycheck? No. Morals first. Principles first. Have the courage to resign, walk away, speak against. That's the kind of candidates we need. I think Lieutenant Cyree Bean offers that. Mark Bean, the Honorable Mark Bean, has proven he offers that. I'm hopeful that Mr. Neblett offers that. And I'd like to believe that Reverend Dr. Emily Gildill offers that. But I'm going to tell you why I don't think she does. Because I know she wanted to come on this show. But the party was not having it. If you can't stand up against the party based on what medium you go on, how can we trust you're going to stand up against them about key issues that impact the way Bermudians are living? Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, folks. You deserve better. Bermuda deserves better. We will not get better. If we think that by-elections don't matter. We will not get better if we allow our seniors to be politically manipulated by desperate politics and politicians. We will not get better if we allow poor PR and poor PR professionals to try to influence us and our most vulnerable without accountability. I think our greatest problem in Bermuda, and it's not just politics, we see it in young men going astray, parenting, education. One of our greatest problems in such a small community is a lack of accountability. A lack of accountability. We have got to start holding ourselves, our family, our friends, our community, our leaders, not just politically, and our politicians accountable. I may argue and debate, but one thing I do is surround myself with people who hold me accountable. I cannot stand people. Yeah, I can't stand people who refuse to hold the people they love accountable. We have too many people who are okay with mediocrity. I'm confident that at least 3 candidates on that ballot tomorrow will do the honorable thing and hold the government accountable. Suzanne Ingham says, exactly, Jamel. You have an even harder topic today. Yes, extremely poor PR. David Michael Wilson says, we can't get better by binding our wounds with the same bandages. And if we want to be made whole, sometimes something new is needed. I don't believe in change just for the sake of change. I don't believe that we should just paint the wall red just because it's different. What are the reasons for wanting to do that? How is it going to improve our lives? How can we become better from painting the wall red? Is it going to help our eyesight, our performance? It'll be disingenuous for me to sit here and act like the PLP has not done anything while in government. They've done some things. They just passed the pension thing, right? It's not about what they do. It's about how what they do impacts the people of Bermuda. Everybody could do something. Remember what I said yesterday? The OBA governed so poorly based on their platform in 2012. They governed so poorly that they made it so easy for the PLP. I stand by that. You cannot tell the people you're going to do this, do this, do this, do that, and then not do any of it. So now you gave the PLP, like I said yesterday, a blank piece of paper. Oh, we're going to scribble yellow on this paper. Tick. We're going to scribble blue on this paper. Tick. No, scribbling yellow and blue on the paper does nothing to improve the lives of Bermudians. But what they did is said, well, hey, what was that term the Honorable Premier used to say? Promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept. And that's what people fell for. Yeah, I say fell for it. Promise made, promise kept. They didn't care what the promise was. They didn't really understand whether the promise made sense for their lives and their community and their family and whether or not it enhanced the lives of the Bermudian people. All they knew was, well, the PLP didn't lie to us. I've been saying for years that the way the OBA governed created the situation we're in today. Now, that's not to say that I blame the OBA for the actions of the PLP government. But they had a part to play. They had a part to play. But here we are. It's October 3rd, 2024. 2017, long ago. I shared yesterday and maybe the day before that my former lawyer said, ask yourself, how has your life improved since the last time an election was called? Let that be a key indicator on how you should vote. Think about it. I'm going to take a final break. Come back to the Daily Play, see who's going to enter the draw. And I'll wrap it up. I'll tell you my thoughts on tomorrow's by-election. I'll give you my final thoughts on tomorrow's by-election. Yeah. Be back in a minute 25. In the meantime, give us a like, a love, a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your family, your friends, your colleagues. Stick with us.
Did you know 3 out of 4 people say that they have a good understanding of life insurance? But do they really? When asked how much the yearly cost would be for a 20-year, $250,000 level term life insurance policy for a healthy 30-year-old, 80% overestimated the cost by 5 times the amount. Ready for this? The true cost for that policy is about $220 a year. That's as little as 66 cents a day, or $20 a month. So let's put this into perspective. Compared to other monthly costs, isn't getting life insurance a no-brainer? If you can trim back on some of these expenses just a little bit, it will allow you to dedicate the savings toward an affordable life insurance policy. Contact one of our life insurance agents today to find the right policy for you.
Take a look at our walkthrough for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to all of you for tuning in today. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, ensuring we can do this with you on a regular basis. If you've appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure everyone has access to these conversations and protect our seniors. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, and X, as well as TikTok, to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, it's a Name That Place today. Very easy question. First person to answer correctly on my screen will be entered into tomorrow's draw. Here we go. Audience, this is so easy if you're Bermudian. Even if you're not, you know this. The first capital of Bermuda was all right. Man, I'm glad. All right, he was fast. He's entered twice. Remember, you can enter the draw more than once. Shamari Talbot Woolridge is entered into the draw twice. So yeah, congratulations to you, brother. I tell you it was easy. But you got it. But look, let me give my final thoughts, folks, on this by-election. Here's what I sent to someone in a WhatsApp message yesterday. I'm letting you all in my pocket. I said, I think Mark is the most trusted. He probably won't convert the PLP base, but he's beloved in the West End. His issue is that some people may see him as volatile, and it may go against him. Cyree is young and energetic, well known in the community. I think it'll come down to whether they trust him to make a difference or not. Mr. Neblett seems a great candidate, but even an OBA MP said publicly. They don't see them as a viable alternative, which I found interesting. Reverend Emily Gail Dill, who I don't know, could be a good candidate. But people feel a vote for her is a vote for David Burt. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Who would I like to see win? Honestly, I think Bermuda would benefit from either of the three gentlemen. And that's not a dig at Reverend Emily Gail Dill, right? I just think that based on her not pushing back against the party to appear on TNN's panel or come on the Daily Hour and go into a place where they can control the narrative, makes some people think that she won't fight against the party. She won't be a Curtis Dickinson and go against the party. And we don't need more of that. I do feel like Sari is a great candidate. I do. But I feel like people, and I don't like this is why I don't like saying he's young, but I feel like people will use his age against him. I also believe that Mr. Neblet's a great candidate. I'm not quite sure if he's had enough time to build the rapport needed with the constituents yet. And that leaves us with Mark Bean. I think that Mark Bean has the trust, and I think people trust him to fight for them against the current government. Is that my prediction? No. That's just a feeling I have. At the end of the day, it is a PLP stronghold. It is, it was a close election with Ray Charlton in 2012, but since then it's been back, to the PLP in numbers. I do think that the three men candidates can possibly cancel each other out and hand it to Reverend Dr. Emily Gail Dill. I don't know. Whatever happens, all I and most people want is really what's best for Bermuda. That's all we really want. What's best for Bermuda. I want to send thanks again to Ray Kai Bascom Emery for becoming our latest YouTube member. Again, YouTube can subscribe, hit the button, the bell, and get notifications, and also become a paying member of our YouTube channel. We've got David Mike Wilson says, remember to go out and live on purpose and be grateful, love, light, and hope to one and all. And that's your daily inspiration for the day, folks. We'll leave you with that. That is your daily inspiration for the day. All right, folks. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great Thursday, my friends.